Hi everyone, Leanne and Brett from Cake and Eat It 3, and we're only missing Miss B, and today we're talking about the Bibbulmun Track, which is a track that runs from Perth to Albany, north to south, or south to north in reverse. So we have decided for our Bibbulmun Track experience, which is in Western Australia, sorry for those overseas, and we have decided that we are looking at doing north to south. So all our planning that we're doing has predominantly centered around a north to south route. As you know, we full-time travel, so we have a rig, which is a motorhome and a Hilux that will be stored in Perth, and we will enter the track at the Kalamunda Northern Terminus. So pretty much everything that we're going to discuss today is not so much about the rig and where we've put it, but about our planning and preparation before hitting the track. Now, there is already a fantastic YouTube clip up of our trek that we did of Cape to Cape, so be sure to check that out. And we will be recording, talking about and blogging on the Bibbulmun, or our experience on the Bibbulmun, so that later. Now, before we even began, we were like, yeah, top 2 treks in Western Australia would have to be the Bibbulmun and Cape to Cape. So we were pretty set, we would love to do it. We understand 1,000 kilometres, roughly 6 to 6.5 weeks of walking is hard to group that time. Now, we were pretty passionate about pulling this one off. So we've actually changed our plans a little bit this year due to a number of financial and personal reasons, and we went, right, we have the time, we're doing the track. So we are leaving in mid-March, which will be starting to get cooler, and we know that heading south, we're heading into the cooler, but we're okay with that. We wanted to finish in Albany. There's just something about hitting that ocean towards the end and marking the conclusion of the track that we really want to experience. So first thing we did, we went and bought a set of track maps. Now, these little guys come in individuals, or you can save money by buying them in a pack. So they'll come in a clear sleeve like this, $48 roughly. Just check that, because obviously that's going to change with time, per set. So and it's split into 2 packs, so midway obviously. So these guys will have each of your sectional maps in them, and will contain topography, elevation, distances, everything. Now, we think they're great. Don't get us wrong. But as far as hoiking that out of your pack every time you want to see where you're going and how far it is to the next hut, we thought, you know what, we need something a little bit more manageable for the day-to-day side of things. So we took the maps and we got some colour copies done. So just of the elevation and the distances between the different sites, and we made them into a handy little folded pocket size reference. So look, whatever works for you, great, but there's also an app, the Bibbulmun Track app, so you can download that. There is some fantastic resources on the bibbulmuntrack.org.au website. This website has phenomenal information. So we're talking section by section guides, we're talking trip planners, we're talking pack lists, we're talking even calendar of events for people who are wanting to do sectionals, which just means completing portions of the track due to time commitments or physical capabilities. Everyone has a different reason for not being able to do an entire end-to-end, and excellent resource, so be sure to check that out. The other thing I wanted to remind you is, if you're considering doing any part of this track or the end-to-end, jump on the Facebook groups. There's one called Bibbulmun Track and there's one called Bibbulmun Track Hikers. So jump on those 2. What a wealth of information. And I can't tell you the love behind this track, the people that really make this work, the track angels, the people who live along the track and offer support. It is absolutely an amazing community to even jump in for a short period of time and be part of. So be sure to check those guys out. Probably the next thing we did, I'll hand you to Brett to talk about how he broke up the sections and did the planning for those sections.
Okay, that's all written down on this here.
C5 size,
yep,
A5 size.
I'll take it with us on the trip. I broke it down to food stops, pretty simple. How much food I need to carry from point to point, how many kilometres is involved, which means how many k's can I walk in a day, averaged out. So Kalamunda dwelling up, that's about a 10-day walk. So it's 211 kilometres. So I average out, say 20 k's a day, whatever it needs. I worked it out to be 10 days. So I know I've got to carry food. So each section is food stops, basically. You either get food delivered or you walk to the next shop. Pretty simple stuff. That's one of the longer ones, is a 10-day. And from there, that's basically the planning. And
on that planning, he's actually identified which shops, what sort of shops. So in other words, Dwelling Up has an IGA Express. Bailing Up has a great food stock.
Collie's probably one of the better ones because you have a Coles and a Woolworths.
Big stock there.
So you've got everything, absolutely everything. Most of the small towns have small IGAs, which means whatever you eat, whatever dietary circumstance you have, may be a little harder to get what you want in some of these smaller towns.
Yeah.
So I've broken it down so I know exactly what I'm in for when I hit every town. I've got on the internet, had a look at their shops, literally, how big they are, and I think Leanne's commented or made comments or questions on the Facebook groups.
Yep.
And inquired about some of these places. Can we pick up gas? Can we get this? Can we get that?
And we've called into a number of these because of our extensive touring of the Southwest. We've actually tried to jump in, check them physically, and get an idea for what we're going to encounter when we're on the track. We've also made mention on this planning C5 that will come with us of other stops or other things that we may want to see along the way, especially because we're world schooling, so we're educating Miss B even while we're doing a 6-week trek. So we really like to encompass learning along the way where we can, and also just the amazing history and flora and fauna of the Southwest. We want to really make sure we encapsulate that into our journey. So, we've really basic facts that you have to have is how far can you physically walk in a day, allow some kind of room for error or injury, the heat, take into consideration what sort of weather you may have. Are you prepared for that weather? How many Ks over how many days between the huts, and between, as Brett mentioned, the food sources that you're going to be able to restock.
Quick reference, that's why I've got these here. If we leave early in the morning, we could hit 10 Ks before 10 o'clock, So that'd be the next hut, obviously. So we go, okay, we'll decide. Obviously, we'll continue walking, and we'll go to the next hut. So it'll tell me, that's what these are for. It tells me exactly how many huts, how many kilometres between huts, and the terrain in between them.
And these come off the larger map.
Yep.
So these aren't an additional thing.
Just quick reference.
Yep, just quick
Straight
reference.
out of my pocket.
Yep.
Quick look. Okay, we might continue on. I don't want to drop my pack and unload and so forth. I just want quick reference, continue walking. Pick up water at each stop, of course, each hut.
So basically, they're the base things that we need to make sure we've planned prior to then adding in now. We know we've got 10 days between Kalamunda and Dwelling Up. We now know that in that 10 days, there's no resupply. So unless someone's bringing that food in, or we have to have it with us. So pretty much I set about dehydrating. Now this is my first ever dehydrating experience was for Cape to Cape, and we were pretty stoked with that, weren't we? Like that, A, because I'd never done it before, and B, it tasted great.
We've lightened our food up, so it means
and it was
I have to carry less.
significantly lighter.
Less weight.
And his is the heaviest, let me tell you.
22 kilos I'm carrying on this one.
Yeah. So pretty much what we're saying is that when we knew we had to carry 10 meals, so 10 breakfasts, 10 lunch and 10 dinners, not to mention snacks and water, you pretty much work out how you get the lightest load that you possibly can. And dehydration was the answer. So we did all of that. That's all done. That vacuum sealed all of that food ready to go. Now, here is an example of the breakfast that we're taking. So what we're looking at there is the first 10 days on the track for breakfast. So Miss B and I are going to have the oat bars, 2 of them a day each for breakfast. This powdered milk here goes with the Wheat Bix, which is two per person on the days that we're having those. And we've got 2 porridges there with the milk powder already in them and just instructions on what to add. So obviously that's only for the first 10 days. So we'll obviously pick up stuff on the way as we go. It's not very hard to get breakfast type foods, and there's plenty more luxurious breakfasts than what we have set aside. But breakfast to us is more like a get up, get moving. Don't use gas if you can. So that's what we went with. Now for lunch. We understand this is a heavy option compared to what other people will suggest and come up with for lunches. This is the first 10 days only. It's one that we know absolutely rocks. We've had it before many times, and it's a winner all round. It fills your tummy, healthy, good energy. So for lunch we will be taking 10 packets of John West iron tuna satchels and 3 boxes of Vita Wheats, which we know that 1 box roughly lasts 3 to 3.5 lunches. So between all of that, that will last us our 10 days.
I get lighter as we walk.
He'll be encouraging lunch earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
But so that's our lunch. Again, yummy. So it is good to look forward to a particular meal of the day. And then for dinner, as I said, that's all been dehydrated. So we are having meals, and I actually have done a separate video, which I'll just whack in here. So for full details on weights and ingredients and the dehydrating journey, because I was a novice dehydrator before the Cape to Cape and now bringing it home for the bib. So just check out our blog and YouTube channel, www.cakeandeatit3.com. There's separate videos and separate blog posts that will cover all the food prep and weights, etc. Explaining what we're taking for dinner. Now, as you can see, that was a lot of food, obviously, but that's for 3 people. So really remember that. Like, you would never be taking that quantity of food for a single person. So, and we're splitting it up amongst the 3 of us, predominantly Brett. So, look, whatever works for you. You know, we've met hikers that literally take tinned food. Now, there probably will be a time on this track,
or just eat noodles,
over the 6 weeks that we will have to just have a tinned food or some more noodles, God help me. That's why I'm starting it strong. I know I've got 10 great meals at the start of the track, Bibbulmun Track, so I'm going to start confident and start with good food, and then I'll be less picky as it goes on.
We are sending 10 more meals
that's
to
true.
the visitor centre at Bailing Up.
Bailing Up,
was it?
So we're going to be doing a drop. So we've got a box and we've filled it with our dehydrated meals. And we'll pick those up when we get to Bailing Up. And that will then be 10 more yummy meals. So lots of dehydrating. Here's some examples of the dehydrated meals that we're taking. To those, we've actually added a potato and bacon, potato and leek soup and a pumpkin soup. And that was after watching Walking 2x2 YouTube Feed the Hike series, which is absolutely fabulous. So big shout out to Michelle, you've done a fantastic job there. Who would have thought you can dehydrate soup? So didn't even give it a consideration. And then because we're heading south, we put it into the second box, or the food collection resupply point in Bailinga, because then we're going to be hitting colder temperatures and it'll be really nice to have a warm meal for dinner. So gave that a go. Never done it before, so we've got to survive it, and then I'll tell you how yummy it was on the track later. So, but yeah, unbelievable. I can't believe you can do that with soups, and they will, I'm sure, be appreciated after a long day of hiking, particularly if it's a bit wet. So pack sizes, here's some information on our packs, all 3 of them. So as you can see, Brett will be carrying 22 kilo. Now that includes pack, water, tent, everything you see. Okay, so here we go with Papa Bear's backpack, which is going to total in at about 22 kilo. We're taking a 3-person tent. He will carry the balance of dinner. We're bringing our Goal Zero solar panel, wet weather gear, washing machine, frying pan and pot from Cedar Summit. All these YouTubes are available as separate, cookware, etc., lighting. All of these guys are all shown, Furno 360, all on our YouTube. He's taking 2 pairs of walking pants, 2 hiking or flannelette shirt, 2 tops, and a casual top, swimmers, pocket knife, snacks. That's part of the 360. Liner, air mattress, liner, first aid kit, cutlery, lunch. There's our washing machine there, scrubber. That's his wet weather pouch for his backpack. There's also a flint in there. There's underwear. It's all there. Pack list, life straw. The pack list will be on our blog. Poor Papa Bear, hey? He can do it. My pack, I'm coming in at about 12 and a half with water and bum bag and everything like that. So I'll be carrying about 12 and a half. Okay, so here is Mama Bear's pack. Now, food is just for the first 10 days, and this is only half our dinners. So they've been split between Brett's and my pack. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dinners there. He has the other 5. My bum bag, which I've already shown you shown the contents of. Wet weather jacket. Again, 2 hiking shirts, 2 hiking pants, thermal leggings or underclothes to wear to bed as jammies, and a t-shirt / top, a sarong, and then I've got a sleeping bag, sleeping mat, sleeping bag liner, gym tops for underwear, 2, they will actually be water on my pack, but we wanted to weigh it. Now this pack, that's our dishcloth drying towel, shampoos, toothbrushes, etc., 2 Injinji socks, 3 pairs of hiking socks, and my hiking stick. There will be actually 2 hiking sticks. I'm just sorting out my the next one that I'm going to buy to match him. And all this you're looking at is 12 and a half. 12 to 12 and a half, depending on, I'm just adding some extra water, and there's always something that you throw in at the last minute. So again, full pack list will be on the blog, but that's pretty close to it. So for the first 10 days, all of the food and hot chocolate, coffee, milk, etc., that's all that's covering. So obviously you resupply on the track. Okay, so then we have my bum bag. Now, pretty basic stuff, mosquito net, which just goes into the nice little pocket, tweezers, nail scissors, nail file, glasses cleaner, because we wear actual reading glasses, bags, both sanitary and just a little backup rubbish bags, cool mints, a snood, homeopathy medicine for emergency situations, there's a needle there just in case, splinters, etc. Hair ties, hairbrush, feminine antibacterial wipe things, so very handy for the ladies in particular. Is pawpaw cream, which can't be used, just a heads up, don't use pawpaw cream as chapstick.
because it doesn't have the protector in it. So that's only for like after dry lips, like healing wounds and cuts after dry lips. Got some deodorant and different size Band-Aids for various things and some tissues. That is what's held in the bum bag.
And Miss B, she will be carrying about 11 to 11 and a half, depending on how much water she has on her at the time.
Okay, so what we're looking at here is Miss B's pack. Now, we came in at 11.5 kilo, and she's actually going to have one water, one Powerade. Because we're 3 people and we're all trekking together, it's really irrelevant to us who carries the actual water or who carries the Gatorade or whatever. As soon as they're empty, they'll be refilled with water. So basically, very quickly, this will all be on the blog in more detail, but there's 2 hiking shirts, 2 pairs of hiking pants, a thermal top, a sleeping top, thermal pants, some bike pants in case it's hot for her, sports bras, so there's 2 pairs of Injinji socks, 3 pairs of normal hiking socks, swimmers, that will help in bathing as well. She's got a toilet paper. She's got the PLB, or the personal locator beacon, but again, there's 3 of us, so we're all just splitting. We tried to keep her down as much as we could. She's carrying the breakfast. I'll have all of that in the blog in more detail as well, or in a separate post. Nice warm jacket, sleeping bag, liner and mattress, and sleeping bag, hiking sticks. That's pretty much Miss B. Mosquito net. And want more details, go to the blog, www.cakeandeatit3.com. Woohoo!
So,
packs will get lighter. This is the hardest part.
Yep.
10 full days, it's a lot of food. I think we'll be carrying, you could probably drop 3 kilos out of each bag after that stretch.
yeah,
Of dwelling up.
yeah.
So,
This is all a new experience for us, this length of hike. So we're willing to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But we sure feel that we have really planned as best we can, and by dehydrating and by carrying only limited like clothing and toiletries and that sort of thing, I think we're giving it the best chance of success that we can. So obviously we can't predict weather or injuries and that sort of thing, so we'll see how we go. We're certainly going to give it a good shot. Now, with the dehydrating and everything, I'll do a separate blog post on that, which is in the works, from both the Cape to Cape and this Bibbulmun Track, about what it was like as a first timer. I mean, you have no idea that it's going to work and you're not going to poison everybody. So, that was pretty good. We survived the last run, didn't we? So anyway, join those Facebook groups. Be sure to subscribe below. We'll have lots more. There's heaps of information on the gear we're taking with us. When we finish and in time, I'll give you a complete pack list and let you know what was a waste of space, what was worthwhile. I'm pretty confident after the Cape to Cape, I think we nailed that with our pack list and our food. In fact, we came out with food still available to us, which you do have to make sure that you allow for these emergencies. So wish us luck. Here we go. But really, really, really excited to explore yet more of Western Australia, which is obviously pretty close to our heart with all the adventures that we've done already. So, yep, see you on the track.